What's going on, it's JTLive. Welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings. The series, of course, we go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United. And we have a little talk about it. I'm still not 100% Torino, but thank you guys for all the love and support yesterday. It means so much to me. I'm feeling a little bit better today, but we're still on the road to recovery. And Leeds United are on the road to making some big Premier League signings. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into the meat of the action. And the first one is surrounding the goalkeeper department. Now, obviously, there has been a whole load of links around the Brazilian goalkeeper, Perri, who we spoke about yesterday. It has become apparent that Leeds United will look to find a replacement for the error-prone Illan Meslier this summer. Bit of a harsh wording there. And journalist Luke Entwistle believes that Lucas Perry is still going to be an option. He's still an interesting shout in Leeds for particular. They obviously need a goalkeeper. I'm sure they'll be wary of having someone who can't use their feet. And I'm not saying he's in that category, but he did have a few hairy moments. Although, the way things went with Meslier last year, I think a lot of people will be more happy to have someone who's secure with their hands rather than their feet. But there aren't too many huge updates on Lucas Perry. There are also updates on, or rather links to, a variety of goalkeepers coming out today. I think you're going to see this until we do actually knuckle one goalkeeper down. One of the other goalkeepers linked with Leeds United is Angers goalkeeper Yahia Fofana, who is 24 years of age and would cost around £8 million. The Whites are reported to have approached Angers to discuss a deal for the goalkeeper. Perry is reportedly Daniel Farke's main target still. However, if we weren't able to get him or there was financial troubles, we could look at a cheaper option, being Mr. Fofana himself. Very slight links right now here, but he could be a solid replacement for Leeds United. Lauded by under-23 football scout Antonio Mago, the 24-year-old obviously went on to have a very impressive campaign at Angers last year. But again, nothing to get your hopes about just yet. But speaking of getting your hopes up, look at this. The brand new Leeds United away kit. Look at that on the right there. Absolutely scintillating stuff. It has been leaked. I'm not sure there are any official announcements about it yet. Maybe I'm lacking. By the way, I am still recovering, so do cut me some slack again. But there was leaks today about this kit, or last night, sorry, about this kit being Leeds United's new away kit. And can I say, it looks absolutely beautiful. Heard a few people saying they would prefer to have it all yellow instead of the white strips. I do kind of agree with that one, although since I've let it marinate, I'm not mad at the white strips in the kit. I'm really not mad at it. I do think they do look okay, especially the one going around the back of the collar here. And I'm really a big fan of these little light blue and dark blue stripes going across. Really just adds that extra bit of texture to the kit. The yellow Red Bull logo with the yellow Leeds badge. Oh, I think that is a magisterial kit. And ironically enough, people hate on the Red Bull logo, right? But with Leeds United's kits, Leeds United's colours, I think it actually really works with a lot of our kits. Even on the home kit, it doesn't look too bad with the yellow in there. I know there's red on the kit, which people go, oh, I shouldn't have red on a Leeds kit. But the yellow and everything, it adds good texture. I actually quite like it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below on that new away kit. Will you be getting one, or will you be going for the home kit instead? But in terms of kits that we are going to be buying, I think the most important question is, who are we going to be printing on the back of those kits? Now, speaking of goalkeepers, once again, one goalkeeper who will not be printed on the back of any shirts for Leeds United next year is looking to be Vanja Malinkovic-Savic. We've had a lot of reports to him, but according to Sport Italia, the keeper is now set on a move to Napoli, so a move to England is no longer on the cards for a 28-year-old. Of course, things are still subject to change. You never know what's going to happen. But as things stand, it does seem like this is one to ignore. I know people went crazy because he was taking free kicks. Oh, Leeds are bringing the game back. Leeds are bringing the game back. It was very light links at that point. I think people did jump the gun on this one. I didn't even see as much likelihood as I did with Lucas Perri coming in. But it does seem like Vanja Malinkovic is no longer coming over to Leeds United. And the next story in the news is around Jack Harrison, who is reported to be wanted by not just Everton, but Burnley Football Club as well. Leeds United winger Jack Harrison is, of course, attracting interest from his former loan employers Everton and Burnley this summer in the transfer window. This is coming by way of Sports Boom, who claim that the Premier League clubs want to sign Harrison on a permanent basis. Harrison is obviously back at Ellen Road, but as we spoke about yesterday, is not likely to make the preseason side and is someone who Leeds are very much looking to get off the books. Harrison is said to favour a move over to Everton, of course, playing there for the past 2 years. And wouldn't necessarily be too mad at staying at Leeds, but doesn't want to play second fiddle to Dan James. And unfortunately for him, he would be playing second fiddle to Dan James because he is not at the caliber of Daniel James at this point in his career. Now, it is also reported that Leeds United have a currently unknown release clause. What that release clause is, maybe you guys know a little bit more about that than me right now. I haven't seen any crazy information on what exactly that release clause is, but there are multiple news outlets, should I say, reporting on the fact that he does have a release clause. I mean, just look at his stats last year, man. I don't know why Everton would even be back in the hunt for him. 34 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2,181 minutes played. Why they would want him for a reported £10 million that Leeds United value him at, I do not know at all. It is also reported, not reported, but Leeds United have a current book value, which is said to be around £2.75 million of Jack Harrison. Now, you may be thinking, what exactly is a current book value? So your current book value is when you sign a player for a certain amount of fee. Let's say, for example, we signed Jack Harrison for £20 million, okay? We signed him for £20 million. He was therefore on a 5-year contract. So your current book value is your transfer fee that the club has paid that is deemed as an asset. And then each year it is divided by the quantity of the amount of years you have. So if he signed a £20 million contract or a £20 million fee on a 5-year contract, after the first year, his current book value would go down to £16 million. And because he's been at the club for so long, not even playing at the club, his current book value is £2.75 million, which is why Leeds are talking about getting that release clause and getting him out of the club. He is currently valued at transfer marked at around €14 million. For me, I think we'll be very, very lucky, given his recent outputs, to even get him out for £10 million, especially considering the fact that both Burnley and Everton know we don't want him at the club. He doesn't want to be at the club. So I think our negotiation powers are very, very low. We do obviously still have him for an extra few years until 2028. So there is still a little bit of time remaining on his contract. But it is one that I think we need to get out quickly so we can reinvest those funds. How much do you guys think we will be able to get for Jack Harrison in the end? I think if we can get £10 million, which is what Leeds are apparently valuing him at, that will be a very, very good deal for me. Now, speaking of goalkeepers, there's another goalkeeper linked to Leeds United in the news, and that is Lamens, the Antwerp goalkeeper. And Antwerp are reportedly ready to cash in. Lamens, who has been described as phenomenal, by scout JTLive, is regarded as one of the top young goalkeepers in Europe, and his performances seem to attract the attention of several clubs around the continent. One of the reported clubs interested are Leeds United, who are eyeing up the 23-year-old Belgian goalkeeper, and it has emerged that his club Antwerp are ready to cash in on him as a result of the interest being shown. They're looking to earn at least £17 million from his sale and have already signed his replacement for the upcoming season, which means they are very willing to do a deal. Because they've already signed a replacement, Maybe we could eke them down to £15 million, but it depends how much other interest is going for them. Sunderland, Manchester United, Galatasaray, Sunderland all also have been linked. Leeds are hopeful, obviously, that they can get the deal done. I mean, it's not good news that Sunderland have been linked, because whenever Leeds and Sunderland are linked to the same people this year, it seems like they're heading over to the Stadium of No Light. So let's just wait and see how that one unfolds. But we definitely need to get a goalkeeper in ASAP. Rocky. Another position we also need to get in is, of course, a striker, and there is another player being linked with Leeds United. It is Besiktas striker Semih Kijalai, who has been on Leeds United's radar apparently since the end of last season, and they are reportedly open to selling the teenager. He's receiving a lot of interest around Europe, with Aston Villa also being linked, and they are reportedly ready to cash in on the player. Turkish outlet Akzam are reporting that Leeds have made an offer of £17.37 million. The report also adds that negotiations between the two clubs will begin soon, and that the striker will make a decision on his future. Now, for me, let me know what you guys think. This is a bit of a crazy one for me. Very much an unproven commodity. £17 million. I mean, I'd rather even have Josh Sargent for £15 million than this guy right now. I'm not going to be around the bush here. £17 million for a completely unproven commodity seems way too strong, and I don't know where this outlet is getting this information from. It could be watertight, it could not be watertight, it could just be them trying to raise the value of their man, who knows, but I do not see any efficacy in this whatsoever. We'll have to wait and see how it unfolds on this one, but I don't see any efficacy in this. But it is a name that has been linked, and as I said, if there are names linked, if there is any information that I'm getting up in the scoop, then I'll make sure to keep you in the loop. So let's keep an eye out on that one. Speaking of another link for Leeds United, it is Mr. Sean Longstaff. And Eddie Howe has come out saying that he wants 20 million smackaroonies for the midfielder. What a con man Mr. Eddie Howe is. He's trying to say now that he wants Longstaff at the club. And he's been doing it. This is the way Eddie Howe operates, all right? Don't fall for his little tricks. He'll come out to the players, to the media, to everyone and be like, yeah, I want to keep Longstaff. I want to keep him. He's going to that boardroom right now and saying, get him gone. Let's see how much money we can get for him. I want to go and get in another midfielder. I want to get Conor Gallagher, someone else who's going to strengthen the team, because Longstaff is not going to be featuring very much for them. He's making the argument now that because they are playing European football after qualifying for the Champions League, they require homegrown players to be registered. Mate, it is a load of codswallop. He's trying to get their value as high as possible. And for me, £12 million, if you bring in another midfielder, I wouldn't mind it. But £20 million for Sean Longstaff, I think that is an absolute ludicrous price for him. But let me know what you guys think down below. I don't believe he's worth £20 million. And I do feel like this is just Eddie Howe playing some games to try and raise the value of Mr. Sean Longstaff. Now, the final story of the day is a bit of a surprising one, and it is that Leeds United are apparently linked to Mr. Breel Embolo from Monaco. Flipping heck. Breel Embolo is not a name I've heard for a good 4 or 5 years. What an exciting youngster he was back in the day, the Swiss international, but I'm sorry, mate. This is as weak of a link as you can get right now. It is being reported that by Sacha Tavaleri that Monaco are exploring the sale of Breel Embolo, but this is a very weak link. I mean, he is a good player, but he was a very, very exciting player back 4 or 5 years ago, probably around the time that this picture was taken when they played Leeds in a preseason friendly, I believe this was. But yeah, not for me, mate, not for me. Actually, looking at the kit, it was probably 3 years ago, right, this preseason friendly. But nonetheless, that is a bit of a crazy link. I don't know where that's come from, but it's a link nonetheless. Anyway, though, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. What do you think about all these stories? Please let me know down below. For now, though, I will see you very soon. Au revoir, my brothers.